Hello, good people of Bills Nation, and welcome to week 2 of season 2 of the Jedediah Snyderman era in Buffalo. The 2022 campaign did not start out great for your Bills as they lose at home against the Kansas City Chiefs 31-28 in that game by a last-second field goal. So the Bills are going to look to bounce back against the Bears this week. But meanwhile, around the NFL, you have Carolina going into Baltimore and taking care of business, putting the NFL on notice by handling their business against the Ravens 41-10 as the Panthers blow out Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in Baltimore. The Eagles go down to New Orleans and are winners in New Orleans by a score of 23-20. So the Eagles 1-0 on this early campaign. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers handle business at home against the Washington Commanders. 35-16 is your final in that one. The Chargers head down to Miami and win by 10, 27-17 in that game. Chargers with the victory. The Cinderella story of the Jaguars continues as they head down to Houston, and they're winners in that one by a score of 35-14. Pittsburgh welcomes in the Bengals and wins by a score of 30-27 in that game. So Steelers 1-0. Detroit beats the Bears by a score of 34-27 at home. So Detroit might be somebody to watch out for this year. The Jets handle their business against San Francisco 24-20 in New York. 38-22 Seattle beats Minnesota, winning their home opener. Arizona welcomes in the Falcons and they are winners in that one, 27-24 Arizona in that game. Tennessee goes into Denver and they handle their business against the Broncos as the Titans beat the Denver Broncos 38-27 in Denver. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Browns beat the New England Patriots by a score of 31-24. The Browns defending their home field in that game. The Giants are losers in Dallas by a score of 24-21, so the Cowboys continue their winning ways from last season. The Colts head down to Vegas and they are winners in that game by a score of 23-17. So Indy coming out on top there. And your defending Super Bowl champion Rams welcomed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers into Los Angeles and handled their business as the Rams come out on top 45-31 on Monday night. Before we give you a preview of this week's matchup with the Bears, we would like to remind you that Snyderman Broadcasting is holding a poll about the name of the new stadium that your Bills will be playing in next season. So go on down to the link in the description of this video and make sure that you vote and make your voice heard on what we should name the Bills' brand new home. Before we head on out to Soldier Field, let's preview this Chicago Bears team that will be going up against your Buffalo Bills. As usual, they are headlined by Khalil Mack and Raquan Smith on the defensive side of the ball. They have the young, talented Justin Fields under center, leading the Bears into battle for the next, hopefully, 15 seasons. I don't know. Very, very bright future for the Chicago Bears team. He, of course, has Montgomery as well as the tandem of Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney to help him on the offensive side of the ball. On defense, there's not a lot of changes really to this Bears team. Not a lot of changes overall to this Bears team, but there is a big addition to the secondary in Anthony Averett, who will be attempting to deflect passes and intercept passes from Josh Allen. So look for that to be a challenge that this Bills offense is going to have to overcome. But let's head on out to Soldier Field, where the Bears are hosting your Buffalo Bills in this Week 2 matchup. Your Bills look to rebound from their Week 1 loss against the Kansas City Chiefs. Heartbreaking loss there, losing by 3 points in that game. Justin Fields is still under center for these Bears in his sophomore season. Meanwhile, fifth-year man Josh Allen looks to continue to lead your Bills to success. This is a revamped Bills team, as we saw last week. Bright future for many involved. And there you see Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson looks to be a huge contributor for the Bears this game. He had a great week 1 last week. 7 receptions, over 100 yards, and a touchdown in that game for Robinson. But here we go with some week 2 action as Tyler Bass boots it deep into the end zone. The Bears will get first possession in this game. And there you see the young Justin Fields ready to lead this Bears offense to hopefully a score this first drive, or at least he hopes so. 280 yards passing and 2 touchdowns for Fields in the debut week last week. So he will look to continue that trend this week. He is going to hand it off, and that will be a modest, call it 3-yard gain for Herbert on that play. That leads to 2nd and 7 for this Bears offense. Fields is going to drop back, and he is just going to have to throw this one to the sideline. He misses his target there. Looked like he was looking for Robinson on that play, couldn't find him. Fields is going to drop back again on 3rd down. He will find, I believe that is Mooney that he found on that play. Yes, Darnell Mooney, or Darnell Money as he is known, with the short gain on that play, but that will lead to a punt and a turnover for the Bears as Josh Allen is now coming onto the field. 230 yards for him last week, so good showing in week number 1 for Mr. Allen as he is under center to start this drive off. Allen will drop back, and he is going to find the tight end Knox. Dawson Knox, big gain to start this drive, has him moving. That would be an 11, let's call it 22-yard gain rather, for Knox, 11 yards after the catch. So it's an 11-yard pass, and then Knox adds 11 more with his legs. Knox looks to have a breakout season. He was a big red zone target last season. Looks to continue that this season. We will see what happens there. Meanwhile, here comes Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is going to get about 5 on that little scamper there as the Bills are knocking on the door. It's 3rd and 9. 3rd and 9 from the Bears 14 as Allen is going to drop back again. He is going to look for, and he was looking for Diggs, but he is picked off. That is Sheldrick Redwine with the interception for the Bears. Allen looking for the score there. Wasn't able to find it, and instead of coming away with 6, the Bills have a costly red zone interception, and he was actually looking for Juju Smith-Schuster on that pass. Excuse me, it wasn't Diggs he was looking for. He was attempting to get it to Juju and gets picked off. That is an interception for Allen as Fields goes play action, but he's going to be hit off the edge by Rousseau. Greg Rousseau coming in clutch with a big sack on Justin Fields there. We got used to seeing that last season. We do have a bear down on the field, so we will keep an eye on that as this game moves forward. Rousseau, sack machine last year, and that is the rookie Seymour who stuffs the next play. So big defensive stand there by this Bills defensive line as Seymour and Rousseau both come up with huge plays as the Bills front 7 leads their offense back onto the field, forcing the Bears to punt. Allen has the Bills on the 50. Jacobs, little stutter step in the backfield, doesn't gain much, in fact loses a yard or so on that play. It's 4th and 3 now as Allen drops back. He will find Knox again. Knox will convert this time. So Knox with a big conversion on 4th down. It's now 3rd and 1. The Bills knocking on the door at the 17. Jacobs, big run, will convert on 3rd down. Jacobs gets his team into the red zone. It's about 30 yards for Jacobs on the day so far in this first quarter, so pretty big quarter for him. Allen, play action, and he's going to take off, and Allen, unopposed, will run into the end zone, so nobody touched Allen. Allen gets into the end zone for the Bills. putting the Bills up 7-0 early in this ball game. We are right at the end of the first quarter. In fact, that score will round out the first quarter. It is 7-0 Bills. We will be right back for the second quarter of action with this Bears drive. Fields is going to start the second quarter out of the gun. He's going to drop back. He's going to look for Mooney and not be able to find him on that play. So the Bears continuing to look for big plays, and they're going to find one right there. That is Darnell Mooney down the sideline, finally brought down by Matt Milano, the middle linebacker. So speed from this linebacking core, but that is a huge, huge gain from Mooney. He's got 43 yards receiving on the day, and a big chunk of them come right there. That is about a 30-yard reception for Mooney on that play. So big play to Darnell Mooney. Fields is going to drop back. He's going to look in the end zone, and that pass will be deflected by Desmond Trufant, a big acquisition in the offseason, or at least a good offseason acquisition for these Bills, who needed a little bit of help in the secondary. They're hoping Trufant can provide that spark. Meanwhile, Fields looking downfield again, and he is going to be taken down again by Greg Rousseau. That is sack number 2 on the day for Rousseau, the 2021, or the 2021 rather, AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year, and Greg Rousseau looks to bolster his resume a little bit more this season. Definitely put himself on the map last season, looks to build up his reputation even more. That will lead to a field goal by the Bears that is up and good. Cody Parkey showing off the leg there with that 43-yard field goal. Pulls the Bears a little bit closer. It is now 7-3 as Josh Allen comes back onto the field, and he's been doing it with his arm as well as his legs today. He had that rushing touchdown earlier, and he's had a few decent running plays for these Bills so far today. And that's the key for Allen, is he can hurt you with his arm and his legs. Though this Bills staff is hoping that we don't have to see Allen run as much. In the meantime, he hands it off to Jacobs. Good run there by Jacobs. This Bills staff is hoping to limit Allen's rushing, just keep him a little bit healthier, keep him from taking too many big shots, as again Jacobs is going to get the ball and he is going to get in for a score. So that will be Jacobs with a good touchdown run. That is something that he provides that Singletary last year did not. A little bit bigger body, a little more of a power runner is Jacobs. And that's exactly what the Bills were looking for in the offseason. You do not see a team depart from a top 5 running back too often, but these Bills did, and hoping that it will pay off dividends. And so far, so good here in week number 2 as Jacobs puts the Bills out front 14-3. Meanwhile, to open up the drive, that will be Herbert for a big run. He's got 23 yards on the day and on 4 carries. Edmonds on the tackle on that play. And that's something that you don't want to see if you're the Bills. The rushing defense last year was a good bright spot for you. You don't want to give up too many of those big runs at all. In the meantime, Fields is going to try to check it down to Robinson, and that will be deflected. So Robinson awfully quiet here today. Not a whole lot from him so far. Fields was under pressure there, and he just had to throw it away, and there he gets it to Robinson. But Poyer is going to stop Robinson short on 3rd down, putting these Bears in a position where they're going to have to punt yet again. So turnover on the Bears, turnover on downs pretty much, as they will punt it away. giving the ball back to Buffalo. And there you see the numbers for Josh Jacobs. 4.5, just over 4.5 yards a carry for Jacobs today. And, of course, the touchdown. He's pushing that 50-yard goal for the first half, as this will be a screen to James White, another good addition for this Bills team in the offseason. They picked him up as a receiving option out of the backfield. That is his bread and butter, and giving Allen a weapon like that is going to be key. And that'll be another pass, this time to Gabriel Davis, that'll put the Bills to about midfield, and that will lead to the first of 3 Bills timeouts. Meanwhile, Allen is going to drop back again. He's going to find Davis again along the sideline, and this Bills team is going to be in hurry up, and they will spike this ball. 2 seconds left on the clock for the Bills as Tyler Bass. Kick is up and good from 25 yards out, and that will be how we end this first half. So your Bills go into halftime with a score 17-3 here at Soldier Field in Chicago. So hoping to come out with a victory, the first one on the season, 17-3. And the big story is the passing yards for Buffalo. But if we take a look around the NFL, here's what we have going today. If we head out to Baltimore, the Ravens get a victory at home against the Jets, 24-17 in that one. Meanwhile, we're going to head out west to the desert of Vegas, where the Raiders are losing at halftime by a score of 21-6 against the Los Angeles Chargers. So the Chargers going into Vegas and dominating thus far. Raiders really need to make some adjustments. If we head on out to Foxborough, it is a domination of the Miami Dolphins as the Patriots win by a score of 28-7 in that one. 2 interceptions for Tua Tagovailoa leads his team to a blowout. Meanwhile, second half of action is underway as McKenzie gets under this kickoff. He's going to take it out of the end zone and attempt for a big return. He'll only get it out to about the 22, so that is where Josh Allen and company are going to start this drive. They will start it at the 22 with the lead, 17-3. So Bills have the big lead and have the football, so they can put this game out of reach in a hurry, depending on what happens on this drive. Allen is going to drop back. He's going to find Juju out in the flat, and Juju is just going to run for the first and then get out of bounds. So Juju, another good addition for this Bills team, looks to quickly become one of Allen's favorite targets. They've been putting in a lot of work, as we've been hearing every week. They go out and they will do routes and everything together. Jacobs gets the handoff on that play, and he is going to be down. So Jacobs is hurt. We'll have to keep an eye on that. It is 3rd and 7. Allen going to drop back. He's going to pass it out to White, who is going to pick up about 5. He is going to be short of the first down, and they are calling it only a 3-yard gain. Only a 3-yard gain for White. In the meantime, we're getting a quick update on Jacobs, who has bruised ribs. He should be coming back, but he will be out for the foreseeable future. We'll look for when he returns to this game. In the meantime, Bills had to punt it away, and Herbert going nowhere as the rookie Drew Seymour gets his second tackle for a loss on the day. And the Bills, they drafted him in the first round, traded up to get him for a reason. They wanted that presence on the edge that they got with Hughes last year, and so far, so good. He had a big game last week, and looks to continue that here. And there he is again, this time with the sack. Seymour taking down Justin Fields. So there you go. Fields felt the pressure from Seymour and just couldn't get away from the big guy as he took down Fields for his second sack on the season. Fields, however, does have these Bears moving as they're on the 28-yard line of Buffalo. And that's going to be Herbert with a big gouge. Puts the Bears at about the 15, call it 16-yard line. So that's a big 13-yard gain for Herbert on that play. Putting the Bears into the red zone, moving the chains. He just finds an alley, and there was nothing but green grass in front of him until he ran into Jordan Poyer. Meanwhile, Fields out of the gun. He's going to drop back. It is 2nd and 5. He is going to find his receiver on the sideline. That will be Smith for the reception there. So Bears knocking on the door, looking to close this gap a little bit, and that is going to be Herbert, and Herbert is going to go in for the score. So that will be Herbert's first rushing touchdown today. 17-10 will be our score after that touchdown by Herbert. And again, this is just a case where he found an alley, runs through Matt Milano, and then Epinesa is right there to try to clean up, but the momentum was just too much to keep Herbert from breaking the plane. And Fields loving the running from his running back, as this is now a one-score game heading to the end of the third quarter. There you see Josh Jacobs. So he will be returning on this drive. White is in right now as Allen drops back, looks for Diggs, can't find him. Diggs has been awfully quiet this game as well. 2nd and 10 now. Allen out of the gun. He's going to find Juju off in the flat, and that will be a modest gain there. It's now 3rd and 5. Allen is going to drop back yet again. Under pressure, screen to White, goes nowhere. So that drive is going to stall, and if the Bears ever needed a big stop, that was it. And a Bills punt is going to lead us to the end of the third quarter, where we have a 17-10 ball game. It is the Bears' ball to start the fourth, as Fields is going to drop back. He's going to find Robinson. Robinson gets a short gain there on 2nd down, and it is now 3rd and 6 to start the fourth quarter. Fields out of the gun again, looking to score quickly. Fields looking to make something happen, and he can't, so he just has to throw it away. And that pressure is going to lead to a Bears punt, as Allen brings his men back out on the field, looking to extend this lead out. Allen's going to drop back. He's looking for and not finding anybody. Allen is going to be pressured there by this Bears defense. So the Bears looking to make a statement. But Allen has this offense moving, and he's going to look for, this time he finds Davis. Davis gets the ball all the way down to the 1 before he is stopped. Davis looks to have an increased role in this offense for the Bills, as he will be their number 3 receiver. So when Juju goes to the slot, expect Davis to be on the outside. Meanwhile, Allen's going to drop back, and he's going to be sacked by Khalil Mack. Who else but Khalil Mack for this Bears team? As there you see Tre'Davious White not too thrilled with the results of that play. But Khalil Mack just kind of blasted the edge there and really came in untouched on Allen. So Allen now looking at a 2nd and goal. He's going to pass for Knox, and he will go into the end zone. The ever-reliable red zone target of Dawson Knox gets another touchdown, and that will extend this lead out. It is now going to be 24-10. Your Bills in the lead, as now Fields needs to score. Needs to score on this drive. If he does not, the game will be over. You have to believe anyway. And that's not going to do it, as Milano swats that pass away on 1st down. It is 2nd and 10 now. Fields going to drop back yet again. He's going to move around, try to make something happen, and he will not. He is brought down by this Bills team. Fields making adjustments at the line on 3rd and 9. Bills defense has to get adjusted. Fields looking for something. He's going to be brought down by Milano, and he's going to fumble. That will be recovered by Ed Oliver, and that will be your ball game. As it is 24-10 Buffalo. That will be your final. And of course, the story has to be Allen and this rushing attack. Allen and Jacobs both had pretty good days on the ground, and the Bears just weren't able to adjust or find anything with it. So there you have it. 116 yards on the ground, 237 in the air. This Bills defense just shut down the Bears today here at Soldier Field. 2 turnovers for this Bills team, though, so you'd like to see that cleaned up. But all seems to be well on the defensive and offensive side of the ball for your Buffalo Bills, as they are now going to improve to 1-1 on the season. This has been the NFL on Snyderman Broadcasting. We are going to remind you, we are still taking naming requests for the new stadium, so leave those in the comments of this broadcast. If you have not cast your vote already, please go to the link down in the description and cast your vote so that we know what you would want the home of the Bills to be named next season. In the meantime, this has been the NFL, this has been Snyderman, and we will see ya.